Alright, welcome back everybody. Part 12 of the Dark Souls 3 All Bosses walkthrough. We just made it through all of Yhorm Dungeon. We're now here in the Profaned Capital. So the boss of this area, Yhorm, he is pretty close at hand. We just need to drop down that ladder and go through that area to get to him. Super close. We could go to him right now if we wanted to, but there is an entire other area of the Profaned Capital that we're going to go explore first. So if we come out this way, we're able to drop down here. If I remember right, I don't think there's actually like an item over here or anything. Yeah, a whole lot of nothing, so don't need to come over here. Alright, as we're coming over here, another gargoyle is going to come and get the drop on us. Boom. Nice and easy. There's a ladder up here. We can go up to grab an item real quick. There we go. Alright, and the only way to go from here, well, you can come over here and kind of get a look at the area again if you didn't see it from over there, but there's not actually anywhere to go. So we're going to go across this little walkway. Okay, so don't be fooled by that crystal lizard. There is a hole right in front of him. So that's kind of the pattern of this little room that we're in. So come over here. There's a crystal lizard right here. This one is safe to hit. Twinkling, beautiful. We want as many of those as possible. We're now able to get this one. More twinkling, love it. There's another crystal lizard up, or sorry, there's an item up there, but there is a hole at the top of these stairs, so don't be fooled. You can hear some of those like spidery things from Yhorm. There's a bunch of them down there. And if you thought the poison swamp of Farron was bad, well, guess what? We are now in a toxic swamp. If you've never suffered the toxic debuff in Dark Souls, it is basically poison times 2, or if you've played Elden Ring, just think of rot essentially versus poison. It is much more brutal to deal with, so this area can kind of suck. Luckily the swamp isn't like massive by any means, and there's a few areas of dry land that we can get to. And reason I went and picked up that item first is that is some blooming purple moss clump. That is what counteracts toxic. So we're going to put that on our quick bar real quick. Just so we're able to get that. Okay, now we're going to actually fall down these holes because it's a lot easier to do it this way and grab the items down here as opposed to like rolling our way over here from outside. Got the curse bite ring. Just gonna ignore the spider guys for now, to be honest. I don't want to fight them while we're in this toxic swamp. Okay, so those are the only 2 items in here. Oh. Okay, now we're gonna get to some dry land. Eat one of these. We want to be careful with our uses of those since they're very limited. Ouch. Uh-oh, we might die. Oh, I'm toxic again? Are you kidding me? Wasn't even in the swamp. Oh, looks like we're going to be using the second one. That's right, as long as we've got one left, we should be okay. Alright, go to this piece of land right here. Unlike Elden Ring, in Dark Souls, when you roll through like areas like this, you don't get covered in it. So you can roll as much as you want without being worried about the stacking of the debuff like increasing. It's just a faster way to get through these areas. Okay. If you hear that like snoring sound, there are these, I like to call them like hand elephants because that's just what they look like. Big, beefy enemies with lots of poise. They can do a lot of damage to you. There is one right in here that you can see. sleeping right there. We're not going to go in there right now because there is a drop down to get to that item. Also on the roof of this building is an NPC fight. And he is pretty easy. Obviously, if you come here earlier than what I am, then, you know, he might be a little bit more difficult, but he drops Logan's scroll that you can take to Orbeck if you are doing a magic build. Okay, now we're going to drop down here to grab this item. We're going to fight the elephant boy so you can see kind of what you're dealing with here. So the goal with these guys is just try to get them to move past you so you can just hit them. Oh, he got the grab and that might kill us. Sure enough. Probably should have healed. That was dumb of me, but yeah, as you can see, those guys can really suck. Alright, on our way back. Alright, we've made it back. Grab our souls. Now this guy's going to stay asleep until you actually attack him. So we're going to try to get a good charged R2 on him. Try to do some big damage. If you fought the ogres from DS2, these guys kind of work similar. Because they have that like sitting attack that can knock you back and do some good damage. Yeah, so that's kind of the trick. Just try to stick to their butt as much as possible, and you should be well on your way. There's the Court Sorcerer set. Another Mimic here. The absolute large quantity of Mimics does not end at Irithyll. We still got another one coming up soon that drops a Estus Shard. Come down here. This is the item that you saw from before when we first started coming towards this area, and this room drives me nuts because there's nothing in here. Like, it's just like an unfinished area, or I don't know what's going on here, but it drives me nuts that there's nothing there. Alright, before we move up that way, we're actually going to drop down here because there's a door down here to get into the lower part of this building. Get out of the toxic real quick. Let that status go down. Okay, now we'll go grab that item. Perfect. Okay, this room sucks because there is like 3 of those elephant hand dudes, and there's only one item in here. So I'm going to tell you right now, fighting the hand enemies, not worth it. There's one that's already awake, the other 2 are asleep, but they will wake up naturally. Just get the item, get out. And to be honest, purging stones, unless you really care about your hollowing and getting rid of it, not worth even coming in here. But I just wanted to show you what's in there. Really just not worth your time to fight those enemies. And honestly, the item can easily be left out too. Okay, so that's it for that building. Now, if we come up here, there's a couple different things we can do. One of which is vital to Sigurd's questline, because Sigurd himself is locked in a cage up here. You can actually see the outside of this cell where the giant was in Irithyll Dungeon. If you drop down to that lower area, you can actually see like Sigurd sitting in this cell. But you just jump through here and then come all the way up here, and you need the jailbreaker key, the old cell key, which we picked up earlier from that mimic, or the chest right next to the mimic, so that's why it's important to go there. And we have rescued our good old friend Sigurd. This is what's required to get him to finish his quest line, and he will join you for the Yhorm fight, because Yhorm used to be his friend. Like, this is lore-wise, Yhorm used to be his friend, and he made a promise with Yhorm that if he ever, you know, basically went hollow or like didn't fulfill his duty, that Sigurd would come and kill him, you know, end him. So that's why Sigurd is going on this journey, is to fulfill that promise. And normally I like to do, you know, most of these fights solo, but for this walkthrough I kind of wanted to show you, because this is a cool quest line. It kind of tugs at the heartstrings, because a little cutscene will play at the beginning of Yhorm's boss fight if you got all this way. And the reward for doing it, Titanite Slab, which is the ultimate resource that you need to upgrade your weapon all the way. This is for standard weapons, so think of Ancient Dragon Smithing Stone from Elden Ring. This is the equivalent to that. So that is all we need for his quest line, and we get the covetous gold serpent ring. That helps your item discovery, so if you're wanting to increase your chances of item drops, that is something you'll need. As I mentioned, this is where the giant is earlier. You can see there's a few items in this area. None of them are really vital by any means, but if you want to get them, you can just drop down from that area that we were in earlier. We'll actually, I do think we'll end up going that way here in just a minute, because there's another shortcut that I want to unlock and show you in Yhorm Dungeon. So yeah, we'll actually go over there. All right, but that's it for Sigurd for now. Then we can come back out here. Okay, up in this area, you would be forgiven if you didn't think that there was anything right here, but there's actually some invisible jailers. Nothing in the game gives you any kind of indication that they have the potential to even go invisible, so I don't know how you're supposed to know that they're there on your first playthrough, but yeah, that'll save you some grief. And then I've mentioned this key multiple times. This is the jailer's key ring. This is what we need to open multiple cells throughout Yhorm Dungeon. Alright, so here's where we're able to drop down to this area. These rats down here, they're going to infinitely respawn, so I'm not really going to waste my time trying to kill them. And this giant naturally is going to try to attack us as well. Luckily the giant can kill the rats, so it makes it at least a little bearable. Yeah, these things are just going to respawn. Alright, and then if we go through here, this is the last shortcut to unlock in this area. Also gets us to the last mimic. Alright, so this is the door that leads us to the very first Yhorm Dungeon bonfire. And now that we have the jailer key ring, we're going to come up here. This jailer is going to try to mess with us. Let's kill her real quick. Okay, now we can open this cell. Grab this item. We're going to go back down the elevator. There's a platform that we can drop down onto. Wait, that platform doesn't actually do anything. Okay, now I'm lost. Hold on. I'm trying to remember how to get to that last area of the dungeon. For the life of me, I can't. Oh, it's over here. That's why. I'm a dummy. Okay, here we go. There's that mimic. This is the other one with an Estus shard in it. Come on, give us Symbol of Avarice. Dang it. Wait, what? Dragon Slayer Lightning Arrow. What? I swear, I promise I know this game. I could have sworn that was another Estus shard one. I'm apparently going crazy. What? Lightning Dragon Arrow. I do not remember that. I'm apparently going crazy and just don't remember anything. But hey, I remembered where the mimic was, so I at least have some kind of memory. Alright, if we climb this ladder all the way to the top, there's one more item we can try to grab. So if we're able to successfully jump across to that roof. There we go. Bam. If we go back in here, this is just in that hallway with a bunch of those jailers from before. And yeah, there we go. So we'll go ahead and use a homeward bone real quick. Alright, now before we head towards Yhorm, now that we have the jailer key ring, there's one more cell I want to open. Just to show for this playthrough, in case you're doing a pyromancy build, or you just want to, you know, be able to get all the spells in the game, you know, find all the NPCs and everything. So we're gonna go back and rescue. Oh my gosh, I forgot her name. Yuri. No, Zoli. Yuri? Zoli? It's one of those names. Anyway, she's a witch, and you can give her dark pyromancy tomes. If you try to give any of those to Corinx, he's going to be like, I ain't messing with that shiz. And so that's why we need Zoli to be able to give those to her and unlock those pyromancies. So I'll talk to her, offer help, save her nonetheless, and boom, teleport. And we'll use another homeward bone. Okay, there you go. Alright, now we can finally make our way to Yhorm. Alright, so going along this bridge, you'll see that the fire just starts shooting at you out of nowhere. It is from those jailers down there who are using the Profaned Flame to just shoot these fireballs at you. Really annoying. So you either need to dodge them or get behind something like I am right here. As you cross this bridge, there's going to be a gargoyle that comes up to fight you. We're going to try to drag him down here to where we can't get hit by the Profaned Flame. There you go. Just a heads up, you can see it drop down right there. So about halfway through this bridge, you can actually go onto that, you know, crumbling structure right there. That's the easier drop down for runbacks if you die to Yhorm. That's definitely the way you want to go. It's much quicker than over here, especially since you have these gargoyles to deal with. Because there's one right there and there's another one right in this room that we're going to have to take care of. Where is he? Ah, he's right up there. So if we drop down here, he's going to come fly towards us. They're really easy to stagger. Watch out. Oh, I totally dodged that. There you go. Now, these white jailers aren't as dangerous as the normal ones. They don't have the health drain thing, but they will shoot some pyromancies at you. Okay, now there's two more mimics coming up. I told you there's so many mimics in here. I think maybe it's one of these that has the Estus shard. Maybe that's where I was remembering wrong. All right, if we kill these jailers, the Profaned Flame will no longer be shooting at us. And that allows us to come down here and grab this item here and that one at the very end of this bridge. So from what I understand from the lore, and I'm by no means like a lore expert, definitely recommend watching Vati Vidya for some good lore videos when it comes to all the Souls games. But the Profaned Capital was supposed to be, you know, this place where Yhorm ruled over, and it was just like a really, you know, good place to live, and he was their protector. But as time went on and the first flame got rekindled over and over and over again, he became increasingly, he went more insane and ended up, instead of, you know, protecting people against the profaned flame, it ended up consuming him and this area. So you can see there's just these like absolute piles of corpses everywhere of, you know, people burned. These are the citizens of the Profaned Capital. So very, very tragic story. But again, that's why Sigurd is here, to try to end the misery, and we're gonna help him. All right, so there's a bunch of jailers here. Like I said, they're not as dangerous as the normal ones, but when they're in a big group like this, they can be a little overwhelming. So we're just gonna try to aggro one of them at a time and take them out. Or if it's two at a time, that's fine too. Oh, never mind. I was like, oh, I didn't actually see anything. Yeah, come here. Let's make it a little bit quicker to do it two at a time. Oh, there's another gargoyle. I forgot about that. Ouch. Alright, now we should be able to take on these three together. We're going to try to not hit that mimic. At least not yet. Okay, cool. Alright, so as you can see, these are both mimics. We're going to try to get them one at a time. Not wake them both up. Because one at a time mimics aren't too difficult to deal with, but two, yeah, that's kind of yikes. And still no symbol of avarice. Man, we are so unlucky. Alright, and then one more mimic right here. Oh wait, never mind, this is a normal one. There we go. Okay, still no. I don't know what I was thinking. Apparently I was thinking of the wrong Estus shard. Guess there's only one, and then the other one has the undead bone shard. So maybe that's what I got mixed up. But that is it for the mimics. That is all the mimics in Yhorm, and oh, there's an item on that drop down. I forgot. That's okay. For Yhorm and the Profaned Capital. Okay. Here we are. We're finally at Yhorm's fight. I'm actually going to let this cutscene play just because I love it. But as we enter, you will see a little cutscene that normally wouldn't happen as you enter this fight. But if you progress Sigurd's quest all the way, then you get this.
Yhorm, old friend. Siegfried of the Knights of Katarina, have come to uphold my promise. Let the sun shine upon this Lord of Cinder.
So cool. Alright, so Yhorm is a gimmick fight. You can see the inspiration for Rykard in Elden Ring came from him, because we have to kill him with a very specific weapon, which is the Storm Ruler. A returning weapon from Demon Souls, which you also use in a similar manner in that game. So what you're supposed to do, use the weapon art, you hold in left trigger to charge up the weapon, and then right trigger, as you're holding it in, to then, boom, hit him with some big damage. If you were to fight him with a normal weapon, this fight takes forever. Yhorm is obviously, he's a giant lord. He is just an absolute legend, has a ton of health, so trying to take him down by normal means is really difficult. Did Sigurd die? What the? Sigurd's dead already? Are you kidding me? How did he die that fast? There's no way. Well, that sucks. We can't get the very end of his quest now. Let's go pick up his armor, I guess. Man, that is so sad. We can't leave him with the satisfaction of fulfilling his quest. Man, I'm really upset about that. I can't believe he died that quickly. I thought he had just a ton of health. That's insane. So really the challenge of this fight is just finding enough... Oh, what? How is it not charged up? Finding enough time to charge up the weapon art. I'm really upset about that. I'm sorry, guys. I didn't think Sigurd was going to die that fast. I went to go grab the weapon and turned around and he was toast. It's crazy. Ouch. Yhorm can be very deceiving with the amount of range that he has. So be careful with your heals. Ooh. Whatever, I dodged that. Oh, too early. You have to dodge so quickly on that. More should do it. And there is Yhorm. I am really sad that Sigurd died. That really sucks. Okay, so that is our third Lord of Cinder. Once you have beaten your third Lord of Cinder, you automatically enter into this cutscene, where Emma, who we met early on at the High Wall of Lothric, just before the Vort fight, she automatically teleports us over to her. And she has a key item for us to get to the final Lord of Cinder, which is Prince Lothric. So... this is a fight that I mentioned earlier in that episode, where you could kill Emma at the very beginning and you would unlock this fight, which is Dancer of the Boreal Valley. Early on, it's a very difficult fight, though. So this is kind of when you're intended to actually do that fight. All right, so we'll go up and talk to her. We see that she's in distress. Prince Lothric is in our hands. And she's going to give us this basin. I can't remember the exact name of the item. Basin of Vows. There you go. The Basin of Vows is an item that we place in front of that knight that's about to behead himself, that statue there. So the fight itself doesn't actually activate until we do that. So if you wanted to, you could go down to the Vort bonfire, spend your souls, do what you need to there, which actually I'm going to do just for the sake of this video. So this message tells you to place the basin at the statue of the beheading knight. That's what activates the dancer fight before you're actually able to place it, though. So we're going to go spend our souls. We're actually going to go back to the Profaned Capital real quick, to Yhorm's boss room as well, since there's... leave one other thing we can grab there. I might be wrong about that. But now that we've progressed a lot through this story, you can see it's no longer like morning or midday time like it was earlier in the game when we were here. You can see the sun is starting to set, but also more important than that, well, I guess the sun isn't setting because there's actually not a sun anymore. I can't see it from here. I'll have to show you in a minute. But very, very cool imagery in this game is present at this point of the game. Alright, so let's go back to Yhorm real quick. Can't remember if there's an item in here. I feel like there is. I could totally be wrong about that, though. Still so upset about freaking Sigurd, though, man. That makes me so mad. Okay, yeah, no item. So this bonfire activates automatically, so you don't have to worry about, like, oh, bonfire popped up, but I couldn't activate it. We'll just do it on its own, even though you're teleported away. So, yeah. All right, well, there you go. That is the Profaned Capital and the Yhorm bonfight. Wow, the Yhorm boss fight. I apologize again that we weren't able to actually enjoy the very end of Sigurd's quest. I just can't believe that he died that fast. So if you do that quest line, protect him at all costs. Maybe come into the fight early on to grab the Storm Ruler before going to get him, and then of course, that might break the quest line, though. I don't know. Either way, try to grab the Storm Ruler as quickly as possible, and then get into the fight itself so that Sigurd doesn't die. I've never seen him die that fast. So I'm just kind of baffled by that, and it kind of sucks too, because when you come in with an NPC summon or something like that, it increases the boss health. So Yhorm was tankier than normal, and we got none of the benefit of having another person in there helping us. But yeah, so we at least got the rewards from his quest line. Basically, the last thing, if he were to survive the fight, you're able to talk to him one last time. He gives you a Siegbrow. And then when you reload the area, it's kind of the same thing. He'll be dead, and his armor and weapon and stuff will be left behind. So you still get the same stuff regardless, but you just don't get to, have that final conversation with him, which sucks. But yeah, so that's it for the Profaned Capital. Next step will be going back to that room with Emma and doing the dancer fight, and then progressing not quite to Lothric Castle. We're actually going to go to a side area in that area to take out a couple of bosses that are fully optional, but one of them is required to beat in order to access the Archdragon Peak, which obviously we want to do. So look forward to that next episode. But for now, that is it for episode 12. Appreciate any of you who are watching this, and like I said before, being part of this journey with me. I really love this game, and doing this video is a lot of fun to do. So even if nobody watches it, I'm at least having fun doing it. But if you are here, appreciate you watching. Liking and subscribing goes a long way, as I always say. But that is it for this episode. I will see you in episode 13.